Alright guys, today I want to talk about binders, screen powder versus pucked and corn. So let me show you first. This is my pucked and corn powder. I started with ½ pound, and let me find my other sample. This is my screen with a binder. So first, why screen versus puck? This takes a lot more labor, a lot more difficult to create, and you're also getting a lot less yield. So both started with a ½ pound of material, and the jars are slightly different, but you can see there's probably 2 to 3 times more powder here. So if I start with a ½ pound, I probably lose 5% to fines. If I start with the pucked, I'm probably losing, I don't know, maybe 50% to fines, because every time I crunch a granule I get dust, and with this you're not really doing that. So that's one reason. This I can make if I have my ingredients, not counting ball time. I probably have it made in, I don't know, ½ hour. This I have to press, I have to get them out of the pucks, I got to smash it and do lots of sorting to get the grain size I need. Now this is a lot more powerful. This is about 20% more density and 20% more power. So if you're doing 60 grains for volume, you're getting about 20% more power than you are with the screen. So if you have to get some durable grains, something that has a lot of power for volume, you needed to use the pucked. The screen though, like in the muzzle loader, you're not limited on volume, so you can just add 20% more. Alright, so this is good. It's probably the best, and it's close to the commercial grade. But now I want to talk about screened. So why your screen powder sucks. Okay, so if you watch all the black powder videos on YouTube, you'll see you just add the 3 ingredients. You add some either water or alcohol or a mixture, and you push it through a screen, right? That's what you get here, because usually they're not using a binder. So let me try to get some out and show you the problem so you can understand it better. Let me see if I can find a little dipper. Here's my dipper. I know I'm unorganized, guys. I'm sorry about that. You usually have a little dipper hiding somewhere. Okay. Maybe I don't, so I'm going to have to scoop it out. Let me just pour a little bit right here. Now, if you can see this powder, if I get this in my hands, see it looks granulated. A little bit of finger pressure, and look, it's dust, right? Because there's no binder in it. Can you see? A little pressure, and it's dust, right? So it looks good, but in practicality, it's not really that good. Maybe for fireworks and stuff, but otherwise, it needs a binder. So what about the puck powder? How is this so hard without a binder? Well, it does have a binder. The sulfur is the binder. If you compress it really hard, that sulfur will plasticize and become really hard. It's like ceramic, super hard. Without that pressure, this stuff here, you know, look at that. It's dust, right? So I made you this demonstration. I don't know, maybe it's not worth it. I was going to fill this up. Well, okay, what the hell. Do it for you guys. So you can imagine that is the barrel of your gun. Looks good, right? Okay, and now you go with your ramrod and you go to pack it in. This is not a lot of pressure, guys. So what do you got in that barrel? This is just light. Well, you got dust. It immediately turned to dust, right? So you need granules. That's why you have 2F, 3F, 4F, right? You need grains. Not for the oxygen, because that's in the potassium nitrate, but you need it so the flame will go around those kernels and everything ignites at once. If you get a dust ball at the bottom, like that, just packed in dust, you don't have that. And when trying to use this in a muzzle loader, it'll shoot, but if you're not very, very careful how you pack it down, just gently, it's hard to get the ball down all the way without compressing it more than a few inch-pounds, right? So I would get some poofs where I feel a noticeable recoil difference in my shoulder, and the bullet will drop a foot at 50 yards, right? Because you're just getting this dust. So what do you do to fix that? You need to use a binder. Now, I've done a lot of experimenting with commercial dextrin, which you find in this clear powder, fiber powder. I've used some commercial dextrin. I've used homemade dextrin. I've used red gum in alcohol, my latest one. I'm going to try gum Arabic. But what I've really fallen in love with is a soluble glutinous rice starch. 3%. Do your ball mill, and I'll show you how this is done later. But you mill it for 8 hours, and then for about 10 minutes, drop in 3% of this. And you're going to have to wet it with water, no alcohol. So I got some scraps here, right? Now this, I'm pressing with my fingers. Can you see that? That's as hard as I can press, right? And it's still hard. Okay, so doing the same demonstration, let me get some of this in here. I know it's hard without a scoopy-doop scooper. This is just leftover stuff that I can play with. But you get that in there, and you give it the old smash, you'll hear some crunching. I know this is a bad demonstration, but what's inside is still granulated. It's not thin powder, right? So you can take the rice starch formula, pack it in as hard as you like, and you're still going to get a consistent velocity, right? So I just wanted to make that clear before I actually get into the process of how to make this. The only real difference, like I said, is adding in that binder and then being very careful with how much water you use. I use a spray bottle so I can just mist in a little bit of water. And if you get too much water, I mean, this rice starch gets slimy when it gets wet. Okay, you don't want a slime ball because you'll produce noodles instead of grains. It's going to be hard to press through your screen. You also have to sort it with a screen one size larger because this stuff is pretty sharp. But you can polish it too, and I may show you how to do that, where you just basically put it back in the ball mill without the balls and rotate it and maybe put in just a tiny bit of powdered graphite if you really want to go through a meter well. But if you're just scooping roughly, this stuff works really well. So hopefully that makes sense. And again, I'll show you how much better this is than this.